Hey, it's Jason Creel and you're watching Lawn Care Life. Today I'm going to talk to you, give you an update on my own personal business. You know, for those of you new to the channel, I actually building my third lawn care company. My family and I moved around 3.5 years ago now, so I'm in my 4th year of building my lawn care business. And like a lot of things, if you get 3 chances to do something, probably gonna, do it better by the 3rd time. So that's been the case with my lawn business, actually going well. You know, if I had 3 chances to make a putt playing golf, I might miss it left one time, miss it right one time. The 3rd time I might actually make the putt. You know, the problem is in golf I do putt 3 times, but they all count against my score. But back to my lawn business. I used to give regular updates on my business. I don't do that anymore, but from time to time I do get asked how's it going, and so I wanted to give an update. I am doing full-time weed control and fertilization now. And I've got around 450 customers, and that keeps me very busy along with doing YouTube and other things. I'm looking to grow. I kind of was in a transition year for my business. I knew this year would be a year I'll probably have more customers than I could handle myself without, working crazy amount of hours. But not really enough to hire somebody full-time. So I've got somebody working with me part-time, just one day a week usually, roughly. So I went ahead and bought a second vehicle end of last year. So I've got 2 trucks, though one of them doesn't get used that much. But next year I'm planning to have a full-time employee along with myself, to hopefully have 2 full-time trucks, or at least mostly full-time trucks. But here's some of the things I've been thinking about lately, because in the lawn business, like I said, doing this 3 times, my business got off to a better start this year, and it's growing, it's doing well. I think it's going fine, but I think I've fallen into the trap that I believe a lot of lawn care business owners fall into, and you tell me if this is true of you. But what happens sometimes, let me walk because I'm just getting tired of standing still. What happens a lot of times in the lawn business, as business owners, we get so busy doing the actual work, it's hard to sit down and look at our business from a bird's eye view to see how is the business actually doing. And I feel like that's the situation I'm in, or trying not to be in, but find myself in. You get wrapped up in the work, and what I'm learning is when you first start in the lawn business, I think this would be true for most of you, you kind of just do things because you feel like it makes sense, or it's what everybody else is doing. So for instance, you think, well, here's a particular yard in this neighborhood, and I'm gonna charge $50. Why? Because that just sounds about right to me, or that's what other people are charging, so that's what I'm gonna charge. And what I've done, and that's kind of what I did, doing weed control and fertilization, I had an initial pricing chart I'm going by, and I'm kind of pricing things that way. And then as the years go on and you get more data as your business grows, and then you can start to look at it and you start saying, wait a minute, that small yard that I'm charging this price for, I'm actually not making that much money off of that. And I know it's a small yard, but I'm still not making that much money. And on that large yard that I'm charging this price for, that's actually not near enough. So I might find that, there's kind of these medium-sized yards, if you will, the ones that are profitable. And so I look at that, and does that mean, well, I shouldn't take on any small yards or big yards, or, well, no, it doesn't. It just means I need to change my pricing to reflect what is profitable. And sometimes I feel like the mistake that I make is I look at my business and say, okay, it's going good, I'm gaining customers, I'm growing, I'm making more money, but I don't sit down and actually evaluate what can I improve on. I just look at the big picture and say, okay, made more money this year than I did last year, I guess it's going fine. Well, I think it would probably be wise, and I would encourage you to do this, let's stop looking at it overall and saying, is it making money? And I think maybe even take the time to look at each individual property and seeing if it's making money. Because what can happen is you might charge $40 for this yard, and you have another one that's comparably sized that's $40, and yet one of them you got to drive 25 minutes away, the other one you got to drive 2 minutes away. And one of them has a lot of landscaping that you got to navigate around, the other one's just flat and square and no obstacles. So I'm thinking, well, yeah, it's the same size, but why am I not calculating those other factors that's going to make one yard more challenging or easier than another? And that can be true whether you're mowing or doing weed control. If you're doing weed control and you think, well, this yard has you know, a lot of very challenging weeks. It's going to take time, you know, so I might even not take it on, or if I do take it on, I need to really communicate well with the customer. You know, there's just some things that I'm learning, and you see the same patterns happen over and over again, where you have trouble with a particular yard, or you feel like this particular size yard is not profitable. Well, instead of just doing the same thing over and over again, because I don't ever evaluate, I can starting to look at my numbers a little more closely, evaluate my schedule. How could I be more efficient? Are there some properties that I need to get rid of or go up on the price? And that takes getting off the lawnmower, or for my case, spraying lawns, long enough to actually sit down and evaluate. So yeah, I think my business is going fine, but I'm thinking of a lot of ways that I can make improvements. And as I look to bring on a full-time employee next year, that's one of the things I want to make sure that we are running as efficiently as possible, because as many of you know, an employee is one of your biggest expenses. And to have an inefficient route set up is going to ultimately cost you money in your business. Just to give you a little bit more update on what's going on with me. I've got 2 trucks, 2 spray tanks, got a Ground Logic ride-on spreader, and I'm about to get a Spiker ride-on spreader. So next year I have 2 ride-on spreaders, 2 trucks, 2 spray tanks, 2 trucks ready to go, basically for me and one other person. And hopefully can go from, you know, let's say I end this year at 465 customers. I'm just taking a guess based on, you know, I'm not going to pick up that many in the winter time, but maybe I get to 470, I don't know. Well, next year, you know, it could be that I get over 600 and really need 2 trucks running full time. And at that point, you know, I've got to start managing the business a little bit more. Not that I'm going to come off the field, not do any work, but at the same time, if you don't sit down and like I've been explaining, look at the numbers, how can I be more efficient, and what changes do I need to make, and how I operate the business, then ultimately you're gonna, you know, make some mistakes. I mean, it's just inevitable. Other things keep me busy, trying to do YouTube videos when I can, respond to the comments. I've got the Lawn Care Life conference coming up in November. You'll be hearing more about that. There's a link to that in the description, or you can go to lawncarelife.com for that. So I just want to give you an update for those of you that are, you know, thinking about my business. It has transitioned to some degree. I'm not doing as much direct marketing anymore. Once I've gotten more established, the business comes in through the internet and through referrals, which has been really nice. And I'm just trying to be honest with you to answer this question for my business. And that is, what do I want my business to look like 5 years from now, or maybe even 10 years from now? Do I want it to be me and 2 other employees and just try to have a small, local, profitable business, continue to work on YouTube and do some other things like that? Or do I want to try to go real big with my business and have, you know, 10 years from now, have 6, 7, 8 trucks running and expand even further? And I don't know the answer to that right now. I want to keep growing. I don't want to just grow for growth's sake. I want to grow profitably and, you know, in a smart way that makes sense for my company. And to be honest with you too, I don't want to grow too fast. Somebody called me the other day about a marketing opportunity. I said, you know what, this year I've got me and 1 part-time person, and I have grown at about the right pace that I could handle. I might have picked up 150 customers this year, and that was about right. You know, that kept me more than busy in the spring. I can guarantee you, run around giving quotes, and I'm thankful for it. But I think growing too fast, not that growth's bad, it's not bad at all, and I want to grow. I don't want to grow so fast that I would like to pay off debt and not take on more debt to accelerate my growth, if that makes sense. And I don't blame people that do it the opposite way. I'm just telling you kind of the way I'm approaching it. So I'd like to pay off a truck that I'm driving before it comes time to buy another truck. And in that sense, when I get my 3rd truck, I would prefer to pay cash for that. So I'm maybe taking a slightly more conservative approach. I realize that than a lot of other people take. But I'm okay with that, because my business is to the point now where it's supporting our family and going well, and I want to just be wise in how I grow, and I want to make sure that the business is not all consuming to my life, that I don't neglect other priorities in life, you know. And then I want to also say that, you know what, a lawn business is still very enjoyable to me. Now, does that mean that there's, stress involved, and it's busy, hard work, all that. So yeah, it is, but I still enjoy it. I'm not burnt out on it. I don't mind Mondays coming around. Sometimes I actually prefer Mondays. That's the day when order and structure come to my life. I'm able to function in an element that I do better in. So I think this is my 11th year in the lawn business overall, and being in it this long, it's just a fit for me. It's not a fit for everybody, but I've found what I'm comfortable at. My business has, a lot more potential. I've got a lot of things I can improve on, but I'm just happy that it's something I enjoy, and I'm not dreading going to work every day. As I've mentioned before, the biggest challenge of my business is usually not managing the business. It's managing other aspects of life. How to balance that work family balance. How do you run a successful business and not neglect other priorities? So, and that's setting some boundaries and trying to be okay quitting work at a certain time on certain days to go home and to spend time with the family and not play on YouTube or that sort of thing. So those are some good things that I am working to implement in my family to hopefully pay dividends in other areas other than just business. So anyway, there's the update. I'm not gonna do these once a month. I might do them once a year or so, but if I tell some people, if you have a question, you feel free to ask me. If you want to, some people that know me want to know how my business is going. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I just don't talk about it that much on here anymore. Love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on what I'm talking about? And if you want to give me an update on your business. Some of you I have met in person. Hopefully get a chance to do that at both the GIE and at my conference this fall. And we can stay in touch and kind of help each other as our businesses grow together. So let me hear from you. If you haven't done so, you want to follow my journey, not just on my business, but helping you grow your business, then I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel, click the bell beside the subscribe button, and you can also check out these suggested videos popping up now. I'm always looking for new content too. If you guys have video suggestions that you think, hey, Jason, can you do a video about this? Some of them are doable, some are not. Talk to you later.